Welcome to Intimacy Evolution, the podcast that helps you enjoy deeper connection and more intimacy in your relationships. I'm Brianna Carey, relationship and intimacy coach, and together with my husband Mark, a licensed professional counselor, we're here to help couples create the relationships they crave. Relationships evolve over time, and that's okay. Let's talk about it. Hello, welcome back. It is just Bree today. I am doing my first official solo episode. So ones that I've done in the past, I've kind of like announced us doing the podcast, or that we were relaunching the podcast after our little hiatus when we moved. But I've never done a full episode by myself. It's usually with Mark or I'm interviewing a guest. And I thought about it. I was like, I don't know. It feels strange for me to sit here and talk. But I listen to those podcasts. I listen to solo podcasts all the time. And I'm just so amazed. I do listen to it from kind of a podcast mindset. And I'm like, man, how do they just sit there and talk about something? That's so amazing. And the other thing that Mark and I do when we record is we tend to record in real time. Like, the ideal situation for me, I love the idea of planning ahead and batching like 5 episodes. Like that just like gives me all the tingles and the feel goods. My brain gets so happy and I'm like, yes, organization, preparation. I love it. And that's not me. So Mark and I tend to record pretty real time. We respond to the experiences that we are living in the moment. And so we tend to record within the week of an episode coming out, like I said, unless it is an interview. And then I, schedule those and then put those in. But even those tend to be pretty real time as well because we don't batch our episodes. So and also just learning a lot more about myself. If anybody that listens is familiar with human design, I am a manifesting generator. I'm a 3-5 profile, and I respond to things. It's really challenging for me to just come up with things out of like thin air. I tend to have respond to something. So again, that makes sense. The way that we do our episodes, we're responding to what our real life experience is in the moment. And so my experience currently is Mark going out of town. And we've done episodes before where we talk about how important it is for each partner to have like separate time, like time away from the family. And so you can go back and listen to those. I can tag them in the show notes. But this one is different. This one felt different. So this was the first time that Mark, and he was gone for 5 days. He went out of town over his birthday with 4 of his buddies. They went snowboarding in Park City, and I'm so thrilled. Like, these are like our OG KC friends, and 3 of them had birthdays all in a row. So they had like the 6th, the 7th, and the 8th, and so that was really cool. And so they were celebrating together, which I just absolutely love. That he had that time with them. He hasn't gotten to be with all of them, in 2 years. So it was just really special. But this was the first time that he had been out of town, and I would be solo parenting since we started homeschooling. And it was quite different. There were definitely some crunchy moments during the past 5 days that I was just like, man, I had so many thoughts. I was thinking about, the single parents that do this all the time. I was thinking about divorced parents that do this on and off, because one night the kiddos did end up having a sleepover with the grandparents. And so then I was completely alone with Suki, my dog, sorry. It was just me and Suki, but like nobody else in the house. And it was just very odd. Just a lot of different feelings and like just being aware of all of the things going on. And so Yeah, just a lot of reflection in how challenging it is when your partner's away. So, in thinking about all of this, I kind of came up with 7 tips on surviving when your partner is out of town. So, the first thing, you can even apply this if you don't have kids. It's connecting with your partner before they leave town or before you leave town. It's super important to just reestablish that connection and spend time with each other, intentional quality time before one of you leaves. If you do have kids, definitely be intentional with the time that you or your partner spends with them before leaving as well. And again, quality time, do like a fun activity, go to a park, go do something fun, maybe get ice cream together. I don't know, just something that is outside of the norm a little bit if you can. And then again, for you and your partner, preferably no screen time to really just deepen that connection before they go. This, what I have noticed, really helps to limit the amount of frustration or resentment that I feel towards Mark specifically in my experience. And I've seen it with other people who like are intentional about this and spending time and really having that solid connection before that they don't have the upsets and frustrations and resentment for their partner leaving them. So number 2, set yourself up for success. Make sure your schedule is like dialed in. If you don't already meal plan, know what meals you have for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 days that your partner is going to be out of town. This helps so much with the mental load because, again, you are solo parenting and taking care of them because you're also like dealing with kids' emotions and stuff too. And so there's just anything that you can do to set yourself up for success, make things as easy as possible, do it. So grocery shop before, meal plan, have those all picked out, ready to go. Try to limit your schedule as much as possible. So this is a part that I was really aware of this time because I did have some work scheduled and it made things a little crunchy and challenging, and the kids might have been watching a little bit more TV than I would have liked them to on one day. And so yeah, and then also making sure you have support in place too. If you have family or friends that can help you, even just a couple of hours taking the kids to a park or coming and hanging out with them at the house if you have to go do something, just having your support system in place. If you don't have family that is close to you, then are you a part of a mom's group, or is there any like church, like play groups or school groups or anything like that that you can get in touch with and have some support there. Something that I have always done is plan a fun activity with the kiddos, and that usually includes a movie night and then like one outing of some sort. We will bring like the air mattress up like into the living room, and we'll have our pillows and blankets, and we'll make popcorn and have some snacks and stuff like that. And we just like cuddle up and have a movie night. There's usually one night where they get to have a sleepover in mommy's bed. So all 3 of us are in the bed, and they love that. We'll read and just like cuddle and go to sleep. So they love being able to have a sleepover in mommy and daddy's bed. And then an activity out is usually going to like the square and having some ice cream as a little treat, and then going to the park, or maybe going to the trampoline park, or just something different for, you know, changing things up. This could have been number 1. Have 0 expectations for how things are going to go. You're parenting by yourself. Your kids are their own persons, and they are navigating their own experiences and their own emotions as well. And especially if one parent is gone, that can be a lot. Definitely noticed this with Rona more this time. And I'm curious if it is because we are homeschooling and so we're all together so much more now, that she had a bit more challenging time. She always gets like a little sad, but she literally came to me before Mark was leaving. She's like, Mommy, I am trying everything to get Daddy not to leave. And I was like, oh, I know, I'm going to miss him too. I'm sad, but I'm happy at the same time, and trying to show our kids that they can have both. They can experience both emotions, you know, happy and sad. And I think it was also more challenging for her because his birthday was the next day and we weren't going to see him or be with him to celebrate his birthday. So I think that was compounding onto that too. But we navigated it. And yeah, having zero expectations. Don't think you're going to be doing all of these things while your partner's out of town. I may pick one thing that I want to focus on. Like, I want to make sure our bedroom and bathroom get deep cleaned while he's gone, and that's my one task. Or I don't know, just making it super like bite-sized tasks, because again, your focus is going to be spending time with your kids. I really cherish this time that I get with them, having the alone time with them, because we get to make our own memories and traditions. And like I said, the kids know they get to sleep over in mommy's bed, and we usually do a fun movie night when Daddy goes out of town. And so it seems really special and really sweet that we get to have those memories together. And then it also helps to lessen like the anger, frustration, resentment. Again, if you're not coming into something with expectations, because what is my favorite phrase? Expectations are premeditated resentment. So we're not doing that. Number 5, don't bother them. They are gone. They cannot do anything to help you. So don't bother them, because then you're just impacting their experience, and they're going to start getting some anxiety or resentment. Not that they don't want to hear from you. So don't get this twisted. It's not don't contact them at all. Let them contact you, because you don't know what they're going through. So Mark was snowboarding. They're out on the mountain. I don't need to be talking to him. He checked in with us in the morning and would FaceTime and say, hi, good morning, how are you? And then he would call us before bedtime. Great. He may have texted me in the afternoon, like when they're having lunch or doing a break or whatever, like, hey, how are things? Oh my gosh, this funny thing happened, or send us some pictures or whatever. It's on his terms, because he is away. I'm not bothering him. And this is something that really has stuck with me since we started having kids. And I think this is a very good tip for all parents. When you are in it, so an example, if you're a parent and you're at home with and not even if your partner, I'm like going off on a tangent real quick. So even if your partner's not out of town, they're just at work, don't bother them. Again, what can they do when your baby has a blowout and there's poop all over and you have to clean them up, you have to give them a bath, and then the dog takes the diaper and starts running around the house with it, and you're losing your mind. You're trying to clean the baby. You're trying to make sure the dog doesn't take the diaper and like get poop all around the house. Like, it's frustrating and chaotic for sure. But if you're texting your partner with every little thing that is happening throughout the day because you're frustrated and trying to vent, what is that actually doing to your relationship? What do you actually want them to do in that moment? They can't help you. They can just say, oh gosh, I'm really sorry to hear that. And then you're so heightened that you can't receive their empathy. And then you might snap, well, oh yeah, it's easy for you to say that because you're not here. You're at work all day, right? Like, you don't want to get into that. So if you feel that that's been something that you have a challenge with, I invite you to make a note in your app and just like put that stuff down, or use your voice memo, like just because you're needing to vocally express and get this out. Use a voice memo and just be like, oh my gosh, things are crazy. The baby like exploded in their diaper, and then I'm trying to do this and blah, blah, blah. And it allows you to get that out. It allows you to not impede on their experience because, again, they can't do anything for you. When you do talk and connect, you can share it with them, maybe be like, oh my gosh, this crazy thing happened. But you've already expressed it enough that you're not going to be coming at it in like a heightened way that they can receive it. And maybe you guys can even laugh about it together. So that's like an all-encompassing little tip for you. When your partner is away from the home, don't bother them with things that they can't help you with. And even like, say for some reason, I don't know, our pipes exploded. Again, what do I want Mark to do in that moment? I'm going to call my father-in-law to come, and I'm going to call a plumber, and I'm going to figure out, or I'm going to call our property management. Like, that's what I'm going to actually do. I'm not going to call Mark because he can't actually do anything. And then I can fill him in on what happened after the fact. So that's just, again, kind of an all-encompassing thing. If your partner is away, if you're a stay-at-home parent, or if your partner travels a lot, just like really start being aware of what you're bringing to them and what energy you're showing up with. And then if you're needing more support or you're needing something else, like have that conversation with each other. Number 6, allow space for integration. So I know this can be really challenging and this isn't talked about a lot. I know we've talked about it, especially when Mark goes to a retreat or I go to a retreat. It might seem like it's different because he was just on a guy's trip, but it's still the same. He was out of the house, out of the family dynamic for 5 days. And then to come back in and just be like, boom, you're here in family life, like that can be really jarring to the system. And so allowing some space for them to acclimate coming back into the home. Don't bombard them with the to-do list. Have a conversation with your kiddos too, kind of saying like, hey, like they were gone, but they're tired from traveling, and we're going to let them come in and kind of just ease back into being back at home. Maybe that could be going for a walk. Maybe that could be coloring together, depending on their age. Maybe it could be sitting down and reading or whatever. Ask your partner what would feel good for you when you come back. When you come back home, how do you want us to receive you? How do you want to be able to integrate? Just knowing from experiences myself from retreats and then the massive expansion that can happen with retreats, I let Mark come into the house, put his stuff away if he wants to go, maybe take a nap or he'll take a bath, kind of just let him really ease into things. I know that can be really tough because they were gone for so long. You're like, I just want to like smother you with love and affection. But again, this is a conversation to have with them. Like, what would feel good to you when you come home? And it might be like, they might be like, what do you even mean? Because that's not something, again, that we talk about or that we get to experience. And so you can share this podcast with them and tell them what we shared here. And then number 7 is intentional reconnection. So your partner was just gone for 2, 3, 4, 5 days. Be really intentional about coming back together and reconnecting, reestablishing your space together. Your person was gone. Maybe have a bath together, cuddle on the couch, go to bed early and let them tell you about their experience and just talk. I always like the bath because it's like bath is very grounding. It's very comforting. You're naked. So you're also getting that like physical intimacy with the emotional intimacy because they're sharing about their experience. There's so much wrapped into it. You could even do naked cuddling, whatever you want to do. So definitely just reestablishing that connection when they come home and being vulnerable with each other. I missed you. I love you. I'm so happy you're home, but I'm also so happy you had this time for yourself. Let's see. Yeah, that was kind of what was most present for me these past 5 days while Mark was out of town, and being a solo parent for that time. Like I said, I noticed it a lot more because they were not in school. When when he's gone out of town before, they've been at school or daycare, and I had some time to myself during the day. And this time I had zero time, which is very stressful on the nervous system. It's very taxing mentally and physically and emotionally, especially when they are constantly bickering and pestering each other. But I am very grateful that my in-laws live close and the kids did have a sleepover one day. So pretty much a whole day. Like they went over in the afternoon and had the sleepover and then didn't come home till later the next afternoon. And I got to go have a girls' night with one of my best girlfriends. Her husband was also on the trip. And yeah, we had dinner and we hung out and just talked and watched a movie and stayed up way too late. And I also didn't realize it was daylight savings time. So I slept really hard, but I did not get enough sleep. But that's okay. I took time for myself that next morning and just really basked in the solo time that I had and enjoyed my coffee while it was hot and made a nice breakfast. And then Suki and I went for a hike and just got really grounded and connected. And that way I was also able to be in a really good space to receive the kids when they came back home. I was fully recharged, which felt really nice. And we got to have another nice evening. And yeah, we had our slumber party. And then Mark came home today, Monday. And it's been nice. So they are actually at wrestling practice tonight. So I got to record this podcast episode. Hopefully this was helpful. I don't know if this was just me rambling. Like I said, I do really well having a conversation with somebody. I do really well responding to someone else. And it might also be very helpful next time not having Suki in the room. She usually does pretty okay, but she was real feisty tonight. I don't know what her deal was. So if you would like to hear more solo episodes, let me know what you would like me to talk about. I can respond to that because I have a lot of knowledge. I have a lot up in the old noggin and I am happy to share it and talk about it. I just need your questions to respond to. So that is how I operate, and I will just say that. So anywho, I hope this was helpful. I hope you got something out of it. And yeah, if you do have anything that you want us to talk about or you want Mark to talk about, either way, he's really great at talking. You guys know this. If you want him to talk about anything or us together, shoot us a message on Instagram at Brianna Carey or at Mark Carey. Send us a message, send us an email, however that works for you. And we will see you in the next episode. Bye.